Hold on, can I be heard? Let's not cause a problem right now. Another level cap increase. We actually haven't had like a level cap increase in quite some time. So I went ahead and I improved on Angeal's sphere grid and kind of his weaponry list. I started pulling gotcha for that. But I haven't done much else for him. Let me look at my party right now. Solo party. So as you can see, Aerith is at the max level. Yes, you guys are seeing it now. Angeal is a party member. And there's a new ultimate weapon mechanic, which I guess gives you like free main weapons. I don't recall if that was like never a thing before. Because I feel like there were already like free weapons, but it was like. It could have been for like the others. I have to go back and look at my recordings. Because it's crazy how you can get memory hold on things. But you're seeing it here and now. So, first soldier is going to be clear for good. It's finito. But new to everything is episode 2. I guess I'm going to play it now. But this was a big download. Ooh, I like this. This reminds me of my old hood. Okay, I take it this is Glenn, who's still probably one of my favorite characters of the new series, or Ever Crisis in general, I should say. Even though he is a bit of a passive aggressive jerk. Genesis is looking quite womanly. I know that's not Genesis. Alyssa. What is this supposed to be, like some Oedipus complex thing with Lucrezia? I mean, I'm not trying to be negative, but Alyssa does look like Lucrezia, and someone even made a point about that. Is Sephiroth still 15 at this point, or is he 16? He kind of has that Kamoshida hairstyle. If you look at some of my old IG pics, I kind of had that same dude in 2021. I got two YouTube notifications. So I just came back from a power outage not too long ago, well, 5 hours ago. So that's why I'm doing Ever Crisis today instead of Order of Ecclesia, because this is a little less intense. It's a little bit more grab and go. But I like the low level ceiling. They want to keep this casual for people who might have neglected Sephiroth, might not want to grind it in Geo. I do like how Ever Crisis is a lot more gentle now than it was in 2023. I mean, the Cetron Tower is still brutal as all hell, but getting through the main story is pleasant. I know I'm gonna be hit with another dungeon here. I like this dude's design though. He has a little bit of swag on him. It is interesting seeing Angeal in a story where he's not the honor man because it's kind of built around different ideas and themes. Place reminds me so much of Nibelheim. But I like how they can get away with not giving him a Buster Sword because he, in the original game he doesn't really use the Buster Sword. He just kind of has it for when he needs to use it, and he uses something else as his main weapon. Usually the standard soldier blade. I mean, it makes sense. At that point, it's more of a family heirloom, considering the fact that his father worked himself to death to pay off the blacksmith who made that. But I'm looking at Angel's kit, and I do like how all the sword users have their own type of sword. Cloud uses swords that are different from Zack. Angel uses like almost normal blades. They still look extremely fictional, but you could use them. But it does make sense because Zack and Angel aren't just like sword guys, they're also like hand to hand dudes. I do notice that when people try to get you to come out your shell, they try to do it by making you angry, especially men. Party info does not exist. I really don't know what's meant by that. Keep in mind, it has been a while since I've done anything in this game besides log on. It's been 2 months since I had any like story content. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what OG has in store. Crisis Core, like everything from here on out is interesting as hell. I do want to eventually see Genesis and get a feel for how their relationship plays out, but maybe they'll hold off on that until part 3. If I see the numbers shoot up high, I know that's probably going to be a dungeon. But yeah, OG, I'm particularly looking forward to the next chapter with that because we'll likely get Sid, and the chapter after we'll likely see the death of Varif. Oh, this is actually the dungeon itself. And with Crisis Core, we'll eventually see what they have to do when Zack becomes a wielder of the Buster Sword. I wonder if this is going to be as long as the previous First Soldier. That one just reminded me so much of the Long Island arc from One Piece. Whereas this doesn't really remind me of anything from One Piece at all. Where you had that one dude on a solitary island removed from the rest of his clan. Okay, so whatever happened here with the missing soldiers has me curious. So I assume all of these soldiers are bioengineered like Sephiroth. The era of Glenn type soldiers is probably over and done with. Lucia, Matt the Professor. I kind of like this compared to the difficulty fest that was uh, the first game, but now I realize why it is the way that it is. It's because theoretically, if you start playing First Soldier now, uh, you're probably going to have the option to do Season 2. Not First Soldier, Ever Crisis. You probably have all four options off the jump. So first time players might have this be the first thing they choose. I really want to set my phone up to do audio notifications whenever a message comes through. Also, the previous SMS app that I've been using for the past 6 years, Message Plus from Verizon is shutting down November 7th. I got the notification on my app, and that really sucks because I had to switch over to Samsung Messages, and it's not as pretty. Default, like you can customize it to be prettier. There's great customizability with all the apps, but I kind of like the proportions of the user interface. I don't know why all of these developers want to stop using SMS features. I guess they don't want to deal with all that data management, but it's crazy how much they encourage you to use Google SMS, which I don't have, but Google's a very risky business because they changed their mind on a lot of services. Like at one point, they used to do like music stuff. Like you know how you have like an Apple account, you can go to the Apple Store to buy music, iTunes Store. Uh, Google was like that up until 2019. They tried having social media 3 different times. Uh, they tried to compete with YouTube with their own like video feature, which is where we got like the most popular horror ARGs. But yeah, a lot of times they fold when it comes to service. They folded on something else quite recently too, but I don't recall what it is. Likely because it wasn't very popular. Oh, like for the podcast, they had like a service where you can like collect a podcast or whatever. I'm not a podcast dude, so I don't really know. But it's interesting how much Google is like streamlining what it is that they do because they have YouTube, they got workspace thing, they have their email, obviously they have their broken search engine, they have a SMS service, a Play Store document. They got all this cloud stuff, Google Images. It's like they end up just focusing on the things that they have from the late 90s, early 2000s, which work. I notice how much of your new ventures just don't bear fruit. Which, welcome to business, I guess. A lot of the stuff you venture in, experiment with, it doesn't really pan out. Look at what Square Enix has been stuck doing for the past 15 years. It's funny, like, as much of a Square Enix fan as I am, I'm more interested in this, like, new Tomb Raider thing than their survival trilogy. Survivor trilogy, I should say. Okay, he's having a flashback to we had to team up with this dude. I realize Ever Crisis is probably going to be really easy. Same with Dirge, if it follows this pattern. Although I'm not a fan of the drip feeding. With that said, once I start changing devices, I'm probably gonna not have that SMS to begin with, and I've had it for texting services, so it's not that serious. Why is this man always looking at the journalists like he wants someone to see what he's seeing? You heard that? This type of nonsense that comes out of his mouth. It does feel sometimes like you can sense eyeballs on you. But your senses have to be pretty keen for that. All I know is if Verizon wants to bring back their Message Plus, maybe when they look at their yearly reports and they think, man, we didn't really like save that much money doing this, they might bring it back. It's, like it's the McRib or something, but that's wishful thinking. Either way, I'm gonna try to get it like whenever I finally upgrade on my phone. This guy has such a weird design. It doesn't match the Final Fantasy VII aesthetic unless it's like a summon. Like he would work as a summon maybe. Remember when I used to be like over leveled for fights and I'd still get my butt kicked? Although I do like the game being easier just because it feels like I'm getting mercy. Or not even mercy, but all those ridiculous hours I used to put in grinding in this game, I'm being rewarded for that by being able to coast for a little bit. His name is Masamune, like name of Sephiroth's sword. Look at how quickly the frame rate dropped. Let me charge this. I wonder if there will be like a pop up if my laptop's battery runs low. Although it's only been half an hour, so it'd be weird if it starts dying. Yes, that's the thing. She bears a strong resemblance to Lucrezia. Oh, she fucking called it. The thing is, she can't get a reincarnation because Lucrezia is actually still alive. It's interesting how tragic a character Sephiroth is while still having living parents. I wonder if the CPU is being used up. I think recording in this room really raises my CPU. Like, it seems like my room has the best Wi-Fi. So this is true even in Crisis Core. Angeal is really the leader of Soldier. I wonder if we'll get more character episodes. I like her big hands. And she has like an anklet. Wait, Sephiroth has a favorite thing to eat. What would that even be? Pumpkin soup. Stuff like this gives me the impression they're eventually going to make a Final Fantasy VII 2. Just to, like, wrap things up. That is a strong hug. She pulled him back with that. She cranked him like Soldier Boy. Like, I think remake is mostly going to end like OG, but the differences will mostly play off in a 7-2 if they ever get to working on that. Which it might be like some shovelware handed off to a B team since Kitase will likely be a suit Ven. They might prioritize 10 free over that or bite the bullet and make Final Fantasy 17 with this team. Okay. So at least we got the explanation of what the Masamune sword is earlier on. It seems to be that dude's sword that cut his blade in two. I will say though, Sephiroth liking pumpkin soup is the most Hispanic thing I've ever uh, witnessed about him. I have a feeling Angelo's father shouldn't look like that. Like I think I saw a image of him in Crisis Core and Crisis Core Reunion. Oh, this is an interesting track. It makes me think of Parasite Eve more than Final Fantasy VII, to be honest. It seems elite soldiers get better pay than our military. Not as much as the upper level Turks, though, but that's probably because being intelligent comes with its own set of complexities. Well, my phone's about to die. Okay, if I go to the home screen, will it give me that notification sound? It sounds kind of grinderish, to be honest. Nah, because this is just like a legato of free notes, so it's much more simple. It's not like the Nintendo Switch sound, which is clearly that. Okay, let me check the time here. Yeah, I gotta not showcase that. I mean, it's like a little image of Piccolo, but still. Uh, so I might resume Saturday, but I definitely am gonna resume Monday with more Order of Ecclesia. I'm gonna try to knock that down next week. At least Shanoa's campaign. I don't know about Albus. Aside from that, this has been your boy Mr. Wonka 7. Thank you guys for watching, and Aksamaik Day.